What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're gonna be doing the match preview for Barcelona versus Manchester United in the Europa League. European competition returns, and Barcelona are in the second ranked one once again in the Europa League after an embarrassing group stage Champions League campaign. But now it's behind us, and now we're in a great moment, and this is an opportunity yet again to win another trophy this season. There's gonna be a lot of games, of course, before we get to that European Cup final, and it all starts with the playoff round against Man United, where Barcelona did, of course, the most difficult opponent possible, and yet another big obstacle in the way of the Blaugrana to win another trophy. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by LU Soccer. LU Soccer is one of the most versatile replica jersey websites on the market. They have a variety of range of so many jerseys from the Premier League. They have Serie A, Bundesliga, CONCACAF. They sent me some of their jerseys, and I got some of the retro Barcelona kits. They have retro kits there as well. Got the 2001 away kit, absolutely fantastic quality as well. I got the 2009 home kit for Barcelona as well with the logo. You got the sleeve sponsors. Absolutely brilliant and high quality. But they also have different jerseys from other sports as well. They have NFL, which of course is American football, and they also have NBA as well. What I have with me, they sent me two NBA kits. First one, Lakers with Kobe Bryant on the back, RIP, what a legend. And also my local team in the Toronto Raptors. I tell you what, the quality on this jersey is so high. They got the original badges as well. They got the name on the back, Vince Carter, what a Toronto Raptors legend. I tell you what, this is one of the most versatile websites out there. They also have some shoes. They have Air Jordans. They got Yeezy shoes at all fantastic prices as well. So what are you waiting for? Make sure you hit the link in the top of the description down below and check out LU Soccer today. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 6:45 p.m. local time. So we do have the early kickoff tomorrow in the Europa League, and this match will be taking place at the beautiful Spotify Camp Nou in the early evenings, which is expected to be a very full stadium as well. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed, and it will be the Italian referee Maurizio Mariani, who will be refereeing his first ever Barcelona match. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Manchester United. Of course, Manchester United is the biggest team in England historically, and so far this season they have done well. Over the past few years they've been absolutely terrible. They've had some great moments, some bad moments, but have yet to win a trophy in the past 6 years. Now in the Europa League, how they got there, of course, is that they actually started there, and in their group they finished second, 1 goal behind Real Sociedad, who of course currently are third in La Liga. They have the same record, same goal, same 5 wins and 1 loss, but this Real Sociedad finished first place in the group because they did score 1 more goal than Manchester United. So to think we're only 1 goal away from this match not happening whatsoever, but in the end the card has been dealt. So so far the Europa League, United have done fairly well. They have qualified for the next round. Of course they were favorites to finish top of the group, but they did end up finishing second. If you look at their record in the Premier League, they're currently sat in 3rd place in the Premier League on 46 points after playing 23 matches. They have 14 wins, 4 draws, and 5 losses. When you look at the last 5 games in the league, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. Of course, they started off their season very poorly. They lost, I believe, Brentford and Brighton like 3-0 and 4-0. They started off like I think 3 losses in a row or 2 losses in a row, something like that. But of course the spark came afterwards, and so far they're on a great run. 3rd in the leagues, of course, very impressive. Only 2 points behind Man City, and of course 5 points behind Arsenal, with a game played more than Man City, than 2 games more played than Arsenal. So you could say they're comfortably 3rd in the Premier League. That's no doubt about that, and they are in that title contention area. Not clear cut, of course, but they're still there, of course, based on the numbers. Now, if you look at Man United's last 6 matches in all competition, in their last match they beat Leeds United 2-0. They also drew with Leeds 2-2 as well during the midweek. They beat Crystal Palace 2-1. They beat Nottingham Forest 2-0 to advance to the Carabao Cup final against Manchester United. They beat Reading 3-1 to advance to the next round of the FA Cup, and they also beat Nottingham 3-0 in the first leg of the semi-final of the Carabao Cup semi-final. Now, first take a look at their last match, of course, in all competition, which was, of course, that 2-1 win against Crystal Palace. 4-3-1 formation. They played a very, very strong game. Casemiro did get sent off here after putting his hand on Mark Hughes and choking him. But Man United were dominating the game, of course. They went 1-0 up very, very early. I believe Bruno Fernandes had a penalty in like the 7th minute, something like that. In the end, it was comfortable for them, but that last 10 to 15 minutes where Crystal Palace got 1 goal back, despite being with Man United being 10 men down, giving some momentum, giving some boost. But in the United were very, very comfortable and walked away with all 3 points. Next up is their 2-2 draw at home at Old Trafford to one of the direct rivals, Leeds United. In this match, they were not that great. They actually went 2-0 down going into halftime, if I'm not mistaken, or they were 2-0 down at some point, and then they brought it back to 2-2. Jadon Sancho returned to the team for the first time in a few months. I think he had fitness problems or something like that, but they made a great comeback. I think they scored those 2 goals in the space of like 10 minutes or something like that. So they were dominant in that second half, but that first half that was very, very poor, cannot be overshadowed, and in the end they walked away with only 1 point, where they were expected, of course, to get 3 points. But then the redemption happened the following weekend, where they went to Ellen Road, Leeds away, of course, and they won there 2-0. Now this match was very, very interesting. Leeds actually dominated for the majority of the first half, and then leading up to the beginning of the second half, then Erik ten Hag made a tactical change. I think he brought Weghorst in the number 10 position, brought on Garnacho, and made another change as well. I think he brought on Lisandro Martinez. After that, it looked like a better team. They were really strong on the counterattack. They got a few goals. Of course, David De Gea in net saved United a few times as well. But this is what you get from big teams. They always win even in those bad moments. We've seen Barcelona do it a lot this season, and in the end, they walked away with 3 crucial points. Now on the screen right now is the line that I believe that Erik ten Hag will select for this match. Of course, there are a few injuries and a few suspensions as well, so that's something to keep in mind. So I think in goal he'll go with David De Gea, back 4 of Diego Dalot, Raphael Varane, Luke Shaw, and Taro Malacia. Double pivot of Casemiro and Fred, with Bruno Fernandes in the 10. On the right, Jadon Sancho. On the left, Marcus Rashford, and up top it will be Wout Weghorst. Now, I think this team is pretty much set in stone. I think there's a few changes that we could expect. Firstly, at right back, it's either going to be Wan-Bissaka or Diego Dalot. I think he will go with Dalot. Of course, he's more experienced, and also he's more of a natural fullback, can go up and down, and be effective in both areas. Wan-Bissaka is, of course, way more defensive. He could bring in a center back, let's say, for example, Harry Maguire or Lindelof, and then put Luke Shaw in his natural position at left back. But what he's done a lot this season is to put Luke Shaw at center back when Lisandro Martinez or Raphael Varane are out, and then bring in Garcia at left back. So those are 2 changes. And up top, of course, I would say one of the changes he could make is bring in Garnacho for Jadon Sancho. Sancho's just coming back from his 3 or 4 month hiatus. You want to really start him at the Camp Nou. Garnacho's more fit, more sharpness, but Sancho has more experience. That's going to be a decision that Erik ten Hag has to make. So from the right wing, the center back, left back, and right back, those are only 3 changes I think that could happen, but everything else I believe is set in stone, and that's something I think that Erik ten Hag will select for the match tomorrow. So overall, final thoughts on Manchester United. They're a very, very good team this season, well structured, well systems, and of course with good players as well, and they're very well managed by their manager Erik ten Hag, a manager that all of us Culés wanted back in 2019 after Anfield, a manager that we've been watching out for the past few years, that we've all wanted at the club. He's now at Manchester United. Such a good manager, tactical wise, system, style of play. There was this quote that's been coming up recently about Johan Cruyff. He said that when I was working at Ajax, I had 2 pictures of Johan Cruyff in my office, one as a player and one as a manager, because the philosophy is always there. So that's, of course, our style as well. So he's a very, very Barcelona type manager, but of course he's at a rival in Manchester United, so he's going to be something very, very close to look out for. He is such a good manager. In terms of actual players to look out for, I think right now Man United's best player on form is Marcus Rashford. I think Luke Shaw is doing a good job at center back as well. David De Gea is playing well in goal. Casemiro has been a revelation for them. He's played very well. Other than that, I think their other star players have been Anthony. He's played well this season, but he's out injured. Eriksen, who's done well for them this season, has been out injured. So I think there's been a few individual performances recently from Manchester United, but it's been more so team display. They play well together. They want to, they were probably the reason why Ronaldo left, because they were such a good team and he was just, an outsider. Even with Mason Greenwood coming back from his court case, they don't want him back because the team's chemistry right now is at all-time high. So there's a few players on, great form: Rashford, Luke Shaw, Casemiro, whoever the case may be. But it's their togetherness, their unity, and team chemistry that's been helping them a lot this season. So what Barcelona have to do, very, very simple. You're at home, you have to dominate the ball and get those chances in behind and get those chances in the final third. I do expect Man United to probably sit back a little bit and hit on the counter-attack with pace, especially with Sancho and Marcus Rashford, with Weghorst being that target man to attract those center backs. That's something to look out for as well. But there will be many changes that Man United will leak at the back, so Barcelona must be clinical in this match as well. Let's now take a look at the squad list. The squad list for this match has been released and confirmed, and it is as follows: Ter Stegen, Araujo, Pedri, Lewandowski, Ansu Fati, Varane, Christensen, Marcos Alonso, Jordi Alba, Kessie, Roberto, De Jong, Raphinha, Koundé, Eric Garcia, Naki Peña, Balde, Casado, Gavi, Pablo Torre, Arnon Tellez, and Alecron as well. So overall, no real surprises from the squad list. Only Busquets and Dembele out with those key injuries, with Busquets expected to come back next week and Dembele eyeing that final match for the international break in March, of course, in the Clásico. But there is one player in the Barcelona squad who is one yellow card away from suspension. If they get a yellow card in this match, they cannot play the second leg at Old Trafford, and that player is Pablo Gavi. If he picks up a yellow card tomorrow night, he cannot play in the second leg. And also, I do believe Sergio Roberto, Ousmane Dembele, Ferran Torres, and Pablo Torre are 2 yellow cards away from suspension. So if they get a yellow card tomorrow, if they do end up playing, of course, Dembele won't play, but Roberto, Pablo Torre, and Ferran, they get a yellow card tomorrow, they could be suspended for the first leg of the round 16 if we do qualify, if they get a yellow card in the Old Trafford leg. But only Gavi is the one to watch out for tomorrow night. Yellow card, and he's not going to be playing in the next game. Let's now get into the press conference reaction of Raphinha. As we all know, in European competition, during a press conference, a player always accompanies the manager, and today Raphinha was selected. Most likely it does mean that he will start tomorrow night as well. Let's get and see what our Brazilian winger had to say this morning in the presser. He came out saying, "It's my first season, all new players need adaptation. I'm living my best moment at Barcelona right now, but I'm still adapting." Then asked about Ansu Fati, his current form, why he's not playing, and Ansu Fati is a bit down right now because he's not playing. He's of very high quality, and we're all trying to help him get more confidence. Then asked about Manchester United, said I expect a tough game, but it was one of the best draws that we could have gotten. I hope it's a good game. It's going to be a tough game, but we need to know what we have to do in order to win. He then asked about shooting outside the box more regularly. He said, "Look, I try to shoot from outside the box when I have the space," because of course when he was at Leeds, he always shot from outside the box. They always played openly against Leeds because they weren't that threatening. Of course, Barcelona is different. All team plays a low block, so getting those shots off from outside the box in spaces are difficult. But he did say he'll try, for the future. He continues by saying that I think you learn from all matches. It's natural that players want to compete at the highest level. You have to improve in every game and in every training session as well. Then he was asked about whether the coach's system affects him, whether we play with 4 midfielders or 3 midfielders. He said, "Hey, look, it does not affect me. We need to adapt to the coach's style. Whether it's 4 midfielders or 3 wingers, we all have to play at the high level." And finally, Raphinha concluded off by saying that you learn from all your games. You will continue to make mistakes, but each game you have to learn something new. And that concluded Raphinha's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Manchester United tomorrow. Time now to get into Xavi's press conference reaction. Of course, this morning alongside Raphinha, he also did his press conference as well. He's asked a lot of questions from the media about the current match, the future of Barcelona, current system, player forms, all typical stuff that you expect in a Xavi presser. So let's get and see what the Gaff had to say this morning. He came out saying that tomorrow there will be a great game. It's going to be a spectacular tie. Both teams are arriving in a very good shape. Ten Hag has changed Manchester United. They're a very powerful team with great physical ability. They can complicate the tie for us. It's Europe, and we want to show that we are also at that level. You can't say it's a Champions League knockout game because we're in the Europa League, but the level is very high in this playoff round. Except for a surprise, the tie will be decided at Old Trafford. So Xavi saying, look, no matter what happens at the Camp Nou tomorrow night, anything can happen next week. If we win 4-0, the tie is probably over, but you never know. So that's why the final decision of this tie will be decided next week at OT. We can't go back. We weren't at the level of the Champions League, and now it's time to think about trying to compete well in the Europa League. Barcelona is a daily task. There is always great pressure. Marcus Rashford is one of the most dangerous players in Europe. He's fast, he's good at 1v1 and transition very well. We have to watch out for him tomorrow. Then asked about Frankie de Jong, about the Man United saga last summer, all that sort of stuff. Xavi said that he was very clear with me. He wants to stay at Barcelona. I'm very happy with him. He's in a great moment right now. We're having a good time on the pitch, which is the most important thing. For me, Erik ten Hag is a great coach. It wasn't easy to reverse the United situation. I think he's succeeding. He's an offensive coach and he is a reference. Araujo is a leader in our back line. line and in our team. Apart from his physicality, technique, and tactical qualities, he imprints his character on the defensive line with leadership. He has the qualities to mark an era at the club and worldwide. And finally, Xavi concluded off by saying that it wasn't a change in game model that we were growing. I have to convince the footballers, the club, and the members as well. He's talking here about the tactical change, 4 midfielders instead of 3 wingers. I think we're all aligned. The players are convinced of the idea, and that most importantly, the president is happy as well. And that concluded Xavi's press conference reaction and the match against Manchester United tomorrow. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start from the manager, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I'm going to try my best to predict this lineup. I think it will be very, very easy to predict, barring, of course, 1 or maybe even 2 changes at the very maximum. I think Xavi will go with this lineup on the screen right now. He'll go with Ter Stegen in goal, a back 4 of Koundé, Araujo, Christensen, Alejandro Balde, midfield 3 of De Jong, Garcia, and Pedri, and a front 3 of Raphinha, Lewandowski, and Pablo Gave. So where the changes could come in, we could see that natural winger come in, whether it's Ansu Fati or Ferran Torres. He could maybe make 1 change at the back, bringing in Jordi Alba for Alejandro Balde. Other than that, I cannot see anything else happening. We are hearing currently, according to reports, that Araujo will be man-marking Marcus Rashford. Whether he plays at right back, then Koundé comes at center back, is still in the air. But anything other than this lineup, I would be surprised. Even with Busquets out, Garcia has come in and played very, very well, so I would back him in this match. Pablo Gave is doing great on the left false winger position. Ball is playing well at left back, so I would be shocked if there's anything else other than this lineup, and you can't really argue against it. And that's my lineup that I would think that Xavi Hernandez will select for this match. But of course, let me know what you think Xavi's going to go with down in the comments below. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was a Barcelona coach, and I have in fact, of course, picked the exact lineup that I predicted for Xavi. I would go the exact same thing. I don't think Ansu Fati or Ferran have done enough to, start in that winger position, then drop Gavi back in the midfield, and then obviously drop Garcia straight to the bench. Back 5, of course, it stands for back for a reason. I would keep it the exact same, although you maybe do want to consider playing Jordi Alba at home to be a bit more advanced and more threatening down the final third. But if it ain't broken, don't fix it. The team has done well. They've won their games over the past few games in this system and in this style of play. I wouldn't consider breaking it up too much. I think at the most I would allow 1 change. What that change would be, maybe bringing in Ansu or Jordi Alba and taking out Alejandro Balde. But apart from that, I don't see it, and I don't think I would change it either. This is the team that's done well over the past few weeks, and you have to give them the backing, and that's not that I would select for this match. And of course, let me know in the comments below, do you agree with my lineup and Xavi's lineup or not? Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? I think this will be a very, very close game, but Barcelona will come out on top just narrowly, and I have predicted Barcelona winning this match by 1-0. I think within our moment at the Camp Nou, the stadium's gonna be filled up. We're in a great, momentum right now. I can see this being a very, very close game, but Barcelona walking away very narrowly with the victory. I would not be surprised if it's a draw. I would be shocked if Barcelona did end up losing this game, but this is gonna be 2 good teams coming up against each other. This match has more hype than some of the Champions League games that have been happening recently. That's how the magnitude of this match is going to be big. I think it's like a big test for both teams as well. I think Barcelona's coming up against a very, very strong team. First big, probably the second best team we're coming up against since the Clasico against Real Madrid. Man United as well coming up against a big team as well. I think both teams are going to be setting out to win this trophy, of course. I think it will be a very, very tight game. I do not see too many goals in it as well, but I'm of course going to back the Blaugrana and give them the narrow victory by 1-0. But of course, let me know your score predictions down in the comments below. So that was my match preview for Barcelona versus Manchester United in the Europa League. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to first see, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly, on those lineups. Firstly, do you agree with my lineup and Xavi's lineup? What do you think Xavi would go with? What would you go with? You're the manager. Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me and watch a game with me. Follow for the match by match review. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big game ahead, and hopefully the Blaugrana will get the job done at the Spotify Camp Nou. Take care, and Forza Barca.